What's going on there, guys? Good afternoon. It's the Earthmaster here on this Sunday, November 4th, or actually November 6th, 2022, about 12:21 p.m. California time. And latest quake up here on the globe shows a 3.0 earthquake coming in on the EMSC model. We'll go ahead and check that out, see exactly where that's coming from on the EMSC page. USGS, of course, not showing the smaller quakes there. Let's see if we can get an exact location of that quake. It looks like a 3.0 coming in to this area of the world, it looks like, right around France. 8 kilometers deep. Not a big earthquake, but kind of a newer one. As far as larger earthquake activity goes, a little bit of movement around the Himalayas yesterday. It looks like the majority of this activity we've seen here, even in Afghanistan, is some older activity. Looks like just after midnight, eastern Afghanistan seen a fairly deep earthquake, and not a whole lot of activity westward far as the larger scale movement goes, except for that the 3-pointer just coming in there on the EMSC model. The Pacific Ring of Fire, things kind of quiet here as well. We did see one earthquake in the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench, 20 kilometers deep. That one coming in last night. The rest of the Pacific Plate and adjacent plates over here, the Philippine Plate, Java Trench, all showing some activity. But looks like the only new ones we had here in this area looks like 4.9 within the Indonesia area. And latest quake, that kind of looks like that's coming up in Hawaii over here, 2.3 right around the Mauna Loa area. Just coming in within the last hour. A little bit of swarming up there continuing today up at the summit levels. We'll go ahead and do a quick glance here of the Mauna Loa region. It is still kind of kicking up a little bit in terms of seismic activity. Going to go ahead and check out the latest seismograph station around the region, right smack dab at the summit area. Definitely looks like there's quite a bit of activity here listed on the graph. Here we go. And actually it looks a lot more active today than what it did past couple days here. Definitely a bunch of earthquakes, a pretty good uptick in swarming, but for whatever reason, the USGS not really showing all those. There is some smaller quakes there, 1.8. I don't know if maybe they're just not showing anything below the 1.5 level, I'm guessing maybe. But this is the all magnitudes map here, and it definitely should be picking up some of these other quakes that are listed up on the Mauna Loa graph here. There's a lot, definitely a lot. So we'll definitely continue to watch that. Pretty good swarm of activity there around Mauna Loa today. Also down on the southeast flank here near Pahala, activity continues there in that region. Around the Kilauea volcano, most of this activity, it looks like from yesterday, a couple early this morning, a couple twos around the crater area of Kilauea volcano. Let's double check the hazard notification system there from the USGS and see if there's any update. Looks like we did have an update today on Kilauea and Mauna Loa volcano on the Big Island. Things continuing there. Looks like at the Kilauea volcano. But I'm kind of interested here in the Mauna Loa. It's currently not erupting. Looks like during the past 24 hours, the HVO has detected 44 small magnitude earthquakes below 3.0 and roughly 2 to 3 miles below the caldera. Both of these regions have been historically active during periods of unrest on Mauna Loa. No major changes, it looks like. Still remains at advisory and yellow. But again, that can change in a blink of an eye, so we'll continue to monitor the activity there around Mauna Loa. South America area, Peru and Chile, got a little bit of activity yesterday. It looks like one after midnight as well. Not a whole lot, though, of uptick so far today. South Sandwich Trench did see this 5.1 coming in here. 40.8 kilometers deep here on the southern end. We've been noticing a little broader area up and down that trench area. Let me bring back the last 30 days of movement. Most of the activity looks like it has been down along the southern end of the trench and well inland. But looks like it's kind of filling in up north here and also down south of the subduction zone. Getting quite a bit of activity picking up here over the last month. But today so far a 5.1 in that area. Mid-Atlantic Ridge, that one coming in last night. And of course that earthquake there in the South Africa area. That one coming in looks like earlier this morning time frame. Into the what do we got here? The Puerto Rico area. Not a whole lot of uptick since last night. Got a couple up here. It looks like that was coming in from yesterday. Not really seeing anything new up here around the Puerto Rico Trench area. It looks like maybe a 3.3 there. But the majority of the activity has been confined over here around the swarming area. With even there, it's kind of very minimal. So a little scattered activity throughout the Caribbean plate today, specifically up there around Puerto Rico. Not a whole lot showing up here on the map as far as the Mexico, Nicaragua area, El Salvador. All looks pretty quiet right now. Do want to check up here on the EMSC model. And looks like we got some smaller earthquakes there, even a 4-pointer. But most of the activity in this area around the Middle America Trench is some microquakes. Well, not microquakes, but some 2s and 3s kicking up in that area. There's some deeper movement happening down there in Chile area, looks like, South America. Let's see what else we got here listed up on the map for the states. We got a little bit of activity picking up in California, Southern California, just on the San Jacinto fault zone. A little swarm of activity in this area. Could be an indicator of some increasing pressure out here along the western portion of the states here, along the plate boundary. No major swarms on the San Andreas fault for now. Nor on the Brawley seismic zone, just a couple small microquakes earlier this morning time frame. Right around the Los Angeles area, had a 2.7. That one coming in yesterday near Carson, California. Looks like a little bit of activity followed that in the Yorba Linda area to the east of that area. Into the Bay region of California, a little spotty as we look through the different faults here. 1.7 near Berkeley, California. That one coming in yesterday. A lot of older activity here around the bay. Up here in Lake Tahoe, got one earthquake underneath the lake. 0.9. That one coming in earlier this morning. Looks like about 10 kilometers deep or so for this earthquake. I think it was last year we had a pretty good swarm of activity specifically within the lake on this fault system here, North Tahoe Fault. But for now, just a little small microquake in that area. Nothing really going on around Mount Lassen, but on that note, we'll go ahead and double check and see what we got here around the Mount Lassen area. I'm going to go ahead and key in here real quick. Remember last time we were looking at a pretty good swarm, and it wasn't even being put out there on the USGS models. So I always like to double check the raw data when it comes to volcano activity, seismograph activity around volcanoes. I'm not really seeing anything listed up here on the graph currently, but I am going to double check a couple different stations here. That one looks pretty absent as well. Let's check down here. That one doesn't even show anything. So it kind of looks like things are pretty quiet. There's a pretty good amplitude reading from a graph, not showing anything. No microquakes, no volcanic activity or earthquake activity around Mount Lassen here over the last 24 hours. Nothing going on across the northern portion of California, Oregon, and Washington either. Just a couple small spotty quakes out there. One earthquake up into the Montana area, 1.3, and Yellowstone National Park. I'll go ahead and double check this real quick, and doesn't look like a whole lot of activity there at Yellowstone either. A couple small specks here and there, but overall seismic activity taking a nosedive compared to the weeks past. Let's see, out east, rest of the country doesn't look a all that active. We got one earthquake out here in Colorado, up against the San Juan Mountain Range, it looks like. Portland, Colorado. That one coming in last night time frame. But not a whole lot going on. There's that one earthquake here in the New Hampshire area. That one, actually, it looks like that's a new one here. Let me bring up the last 7 days. We did have a little activity, I believe that was yesterday here, off the coast of Nantucket area. And then earlier this morning, it looks like a little bit further activity up north in the New Hampshire region. 2.3 at 5.4 kilometers. Little movement out there. Not unusual. Into the Alaska region, some activity kicking up overnight as well. Another 5.1 it looks like along the Aleutian Trench. Little swarm of activity up here against this volcano. I don't remember exactly which volcano this is up here in this region, but not a major swarm. If it does kick up, then we'll definitely watch that for some potential further activity. Right now, just a pretty broad area of earthquake activity across the Aleutian Trench today and yesterday. I'll get a little swarm here into the Cook Inlet area. And that's about it. Most of the movement up here across the Denali area, the Alaska Range, all very typical across the Denali Fault Zone. And Earthquakes Canada, don't know if they're reporting anything today. Nope, looks like that earthquake there from yesterday. Still the last earthquake being reported on the map. Solar weather activity green across the board for now. Only a 50% chance of a C flare. Looks like we did reach that threshold just a bit ago. Noticing an uptick, an uptrend, I should say, of some popping, some flaring activity going on here. And I believe that's due to the sunspots that are coming around the bend. That's going to be 3140 and 3141. This group of sunspots are getting pretty large, and they are rotating into view. We got a newly developing sunspot here. It's not named yet, but it is circled up here. It's going to be this one right here. Doesn't look all that active. These two, though, do have potential. There's a lot of intermixing here. The fields we're going to have to watch from these two sunspots as they rotate into view, providing us with an uptick in the solar flare department. I think these are probably safe to say they're okay for now, but the development of these fields are looking pretty promising for some higher than C flare activity. So we'll definitely watch that in coming days. See what else we got. No major coronal holes facing us. Solar weather on the 3-day looks pretty calm and green. Not really expecting much in the aurora forecast here over the next few nights. All right, folks, have a good day. Got a bunch of schoolwork I got to do. Seems like I have schoolwork every single day, and technically I do. So I got to get busy on that, and we will chat you guys a little bit later tonight with the Sunday night update. Till then, take care, folks. We'll catch you guys a little bit later. Peace out.